15 wins, 2 losses. 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Trained in Southern California by renowned trainer Manny Robles, a native of Nayarit, Mexico. He began his career in an 8-fight knockout streak and owns a 2023 stoppage victory over former unified world champion Jared Hurd, which is no easy task whatsoever. I want to bring in Armando Resendiz. Armando, how are you? Got Martin Botzer, our outstanding translator, to translate for us. But Armando, how are you doing? ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy bien, muy contentos. Muchas gracias por esta oportunidad y gracias por esta entrevista.
Hi guys, glad to be here. Thank you for this opportunity. Looking forward to the fight, and thank you very much for having this press conference as well.
Well, the fight is free and available on Prime. So Prime Video members, subscribers, you can enjoy this big night of action live and free in the United States and select countries. And also now I want to bring in Armando Resendi's adversary, a man who has a record of 23 wins, 2 losses, 14 wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former IBF super middleweight champion of the world and the reigning interim WBA super middleweight world champion. Born in Nashville, Tennessee, now living and training in Las Vegas. He's guided by top trainer Stephen Breadman Edwards and his father, Richie Plant. In his last outing, he delivered one of the year's best fights, going toe-to-toe as he stopped Trevor McCumbee in the 9th round last September. This guy is a showman. He's a showman. He's a throwback fighter. He's a champion, very proud family man as well. As I want to bring in Caleb Plant. Caleb, how are you?
Doing well, Ray. Thank you.
It's great to see you. Great to talk with you, Caleb. May 31st against Armando Resendiz. What can the world expect?
Man, they can expect a show. May 31st, they can expect a show. Expect fireworks. Me and the team, we've been training hard, grinding hard. And once that bell rings, I'm going to step on them.
Do not miss it. And I want to let everyone know that, again, we are going to have an in-person press conference in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks. So be on track and be on the lookout for that from our esteemed PR team. Caleb, you're a showman. When you get in the ring, you put on a show. You're a throwback fighter because you will fight anybody and everybody. You have always said from the beginning of your career, I want to fight the world's best. But when you're in the ring, you always tend to make guys miss, and you have some theatrics in the ring, and it's really sort of, people, gravitate towards that. Where do you get that showmanship from? Because when you're in that ring, I almost feel like you're, headlining on Broadway or something along those lines.
It's just, I feel strongly about having fun with what you love to do. And, boxing's always been a place where I can kind of like let go and, I may be more quiet, reserved outside of the ring, but it's like once the bell rings, I feel like myself and I can really relax and have fun in there. And everybody wants to have fun with something they love doing. And that's what I like.
I'm going to get to Armando Resendiz in a few moments, but Caleb, you have accomplished so much in the sport of boxing, and you've been very successful financially as well. You deserve every single, dollar and penny that you've earned. But where do you get this desire to still compete at this high level, knowing that, you are very well off, financially? The goal of a prize fighter is to, do well when it comes to world championships and also financially. You've done that. But I feel like you still have this desire to compete. Almost your desire has only increased since before I even met you, and you were 10-0 as a fighter.
Yeah. I mean, the goal was to put me and my family in a better financial situation. Obviously, hopefully get to a better financial situation than with the one I grew up in. But even above that, it's the desire to be a winner, to be a champion, to get my name in that big book, to be in the Hall of Fame and to have that written in stone, something that lasts forever, something that my children can look at and see firsthand what hard work gets them. And, even if you fall short, even if you mess up, even if you lose, that's not a reason to quit. That's a reason to get up and dust yourself off and to show that you can, continue on and continue to win. And, there's motivation and then there's the desire, and desire is a much stronger feeling than motivation. And it's not a fleeting emotion either. So, I have the desire to be a winner. I have the desire to be a champion. And that doesn't go away just from a few dollars.
Well, I also want to congratulate you and your family. I know that your wife Jordan is expecting, your family's second child. So congratulations to you guys on that as well. I know you're very much looking forward to that. So I wish you guys all the best, and very excited. And it's great to see the growth of your family as well, because I know how much of a proud father you are.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're excited.
Well, Armando, for you, how do you assess Caleb Plant, a man who's accomplished so much in the sport of boxing, world champion, but how do you analyze Caleb Plant?
Armando, ¿cómo tenés visto a Caleb Plant? ¿Cómo lo analizás sabiendo que es un campeón mundial, un veterano de 1000 batallas?
Bueno, no, pues excelente. La verdad que lo veo bien. Sé que es un gran peleador, es un peleador fuerte, es un peleador de élite. Honestamente, yo creo que uno de mis sueños siempre ha sido pelear contra los mejores, porque esa es parte del objetivo, y pues va a ser una buena pelea esta.
I see him in excellent shape. Caleb Plant is an elite fighter, someone that has accomplished a lot in this sport already. And I'm excited because my dream and my goal has always been to fight against the best. And I feel like this is making that dream come true. And fighting against Caleb is going to be a great show on May 31st.
Before I get ready to turn it over to the media for questions for both Caleb Plant and Armando Resendiz, I want to send a special happy belated birthday to Brittany Goosen Brown, the vice president of TGB Promotions, who was involved in the promotion for many outstanding, memorable PBC events. So happy belated birthday to Brittany Goosen Brown. I'm going to turn it over now to Andrew Roberts. Questions from the media. If you have a question, wait for Andrew to call upon you, then come out with your question. Let us know what media outlet you are from. Andrew, it's all you.
Thanks very much, Ray. Our first question is going to come from Ron Goodall with Fight Hype. Ron, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
Awesome. My question is to Caleb Plant. First and foremost, I know you put out a tweet kind of addressing kind of a lot of the fights that you wanted, and you kind of explained how, Pacheco was negotiating with Mbili, and Munguia was busy, and Canelo was busy, and Edgar has a fight. But you also mentioned that Charlo wanted a tune-up to get active. I just wanted to ask kind of maybe a soft confirmation that you get past your opponent. I know that you're not looking past them, but if Charlo gets past Thomas Lamanna, the card seems to be built up that you guys.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Hey, Thomas, you had your time to talk, so
Yeah.
that question wasn't for you; it's for me. So
Yeah.
respectfully,
Yeah, Caleb,
I'm
respectfully,
gonna
I
ask
do
you,
respect
me and
you,
you're
champ.
cool. Me and you're
Yeah,
cool. We never had no issues. But I'm gonna ask you respectfully to shut the fuck up and let me.
Yeah,
You
no
done
doubt,
your
no
job.
doubt.
Let me do my thing. All right.
Yeah. Let me say something. You're 100% right. I don't want to
No.
disrespect you.
You got
All
your
right?
turn to say
All right.
something.
No, it's okay. Yeah, but we're not doing that. You gotta fight your mans. I gotta fight Maul. So like it's a disrespect to me as well. You understand me?
But right now you're disrespecting
We're not doing
me.
that.
But right now
We're not
you're
doing
disrespecting
that.
me.
We not.
So,
I have
down.
no intent to do that. I have
But you
no
are,
intent
so
to do
who
that.
gives a fuck what you have
Okay.
intent doing?
All right. Well, look,
you do your
listen.
thing. I'm doing my thing.
All
The
I'm saying,
answer
we're
is-
not doing that though.
The answer is
Yeah.
after.
And watch your mouth too, bro. We're not on that.
Or what?
I said we're not on that.
Look, man, ain't nobody talking to you right now. The plan is if I win or when I win, and if Charlo is able to win,
Thank you. All right, bet.
then the
My bad.
goal and the plan is for me and him to fight. So I don't give a fuck what you and Jamal got going on. You guys can figure that out when the bell rings. That ain't for me to figure out. But the plan is when I step on Armando, because I'm going to step on him, and if Charlo wins, then we're going to fight. Am I right or am I wrong? Thomas, since you got so much to say.
Nah, they muted me. You're right. Nah,
Okay,
they
so
muted me.
they're asking what the plan is, not what's going to happen, not what's going to go through. They're asking what the plan is.
All right, that's a bet.
Okay, so pipe down.
All right, that's a bet. See here, you.
I know how to answer the question. He ain't talking to you, motherfucker.
All right, but you.
Yeah, get his dumb ass out of here. Ain't nobody talking to you right now. Boy, you had your chance.
Yeah, that was it.
All right, great. Thanks very much, Sean or Ron. Our next questions are going to come from James Bell with the Boxing Source. James, please unmute yourself and you can ask your questions.
All right, thanks, Andrew. First question here for Armando. Given that you had fights against Jared Hurd and Elijah Garcia, what did you take from that or those two fights leading into this one here against world champion and Caleb Plant?
Armando, ¿qué conclusiones sacaste de tus peleas contra Hurd y contra Elijah García de cara a este nuevo desafío contra Caleb Plant? ¿Te sirvió de algo?
Claro, claro que sí. De todas las peleas se aprende. Aprendí en esas peleas que mencionan. Aprendí que no hay rival pequeño, pero tampoco rival tan grande que no se pueda derrotar. Entonces me siento con un gran aprendizaje de todo lo que ha llevado mi carrera, algunas altas, unas bajas, pero todo es para seguir aprendiendo y pues con la fe en Dios siempre y vamos para adelante, como buen mexicano.
Look, like a good Mexican fighter that I am, I always, put my best foot forward, and I have faith in everything that I do, and I put my faith in God as well. As far as the previous fights that I had, every single fight is a learning experience. My career has had highs and lows, and I definitely think that the fights against Hernan Garcia have allowed me to realize that there are no opponents that are too small, but that you never have a boogeyman that they have to fear. So I'm gonna be ready for this challenge, and the fights that I've had in the past are gonna allow me to be even stronger this time around.
All right, and my next question for Caleb Plant, you talked about, legacy and your desire here being as a fighter. Given that, this fight is going to take place, not that far from when they're going to have the International Boxing Hall of Fame ceremony, what would you think is your plan to be enshrined in that Hall of Fame?
Well, first things first, that's been on a big performance May 31st. If Charlo is able to, get past his test and win, beat him in impressive fashion, fight Edgar Berlanga, step on him, step on Jaime Munguia and Diego Pacheco and, any of the other guys who are up there, and just, one by one, keep picking them off until, my name is cemented and I'm able to, get in that Hall of Fame. That's the goal. That's the dream. And, but you can only, do that one fight at a time. So right now, I think Lamanna thought I was going to get on here and say after Charlo knocks, I don't, what Charlo and him got going on have nothing to do with me right now. My focus is on Armando Resendiz, and I'll let them figure that out. And I'm going to figure out the fight between me and Armando. And then, we'll go from there. But yeah, just slowly keep picking them off one by one.
All right. Thanks for those questions, James. Our next questions are going to come from Cynthia Conti with Best Women's Boxing Show, period. Cynthia, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. This question is for Caleb. Can you talk about the difference, since you fought Canelo and David Benavidez, can you talk about the difference between rebuilding after the Canelo fight versus rebuilding after your fight with Benavidez? Rebuilding yourself after those losses, going into the McCumbee fight, and what you learned from McCumbee going into Resendiz.
Yeah, I mean, in the Canelo fight, it was a good fight, but taking the biggest thing away from that was just the experience, and with a few adjustments, knowing that I'm the guy. So went back to work, and for some reason, I feel like some fighters, they lose and their confidence is shattered, and maybe their confidence was fake to begin with. I don't know, but a loss has never stripped me of my confidence or made me feel like I couldn't accomplish what I wanted to. So I got back to work, got knockout of the year against Anthony Durrell, who's a two-time world champion. Then in the David fight, the Durrell fight was a great experience as well, but the David fight, things was going really well the first half of the fight, and he started to take over the second half. He's a big guy, and also he's got a lot of skill and a lot of ability. He's a great fighter, but taking that experience into the Trevor McCumbee fight, being able to stay cool and calm regardless of what was coming my way, and make adjustments, which a lot of fighters aren't able to do. and handle business in fashion there. So Armando knows me. He knows how good I am. We've sparred before, and we sparred a couple times, and he knows I'm the real deal.
Okay, and for Resendiz, he just said that you know him sparring. Did you take anything away from it? But and do you see that you can use it against him?
Bueno, Armando, de lo que tenés de la experiencia de sparring y todo, ¿sentís que te puede ayudar de cara a esta pelea?
Bueno, todo sirve. Es bueno valorar todo. Los sparring, la verdad, no nos fue tan mal. Hicimos una buena cantidad de sparring. La verdad que por ahí se empieza y nada, siento que no es tampoco algo imposible que se pueda lograr. Y como te lo repito, con la fe siempre por delante y dándolo todo en mi entrenamiento. Yo sé que él se acuerda de mí, de esos sparring. Yo sé que él se acuerda de esa vez que le ayudé. Creo que iba a pelear con Canelo Álvarez, algo así. Entonces, por ahí vamos empezando con la preparación de esta pelea y con fe en Dios de que vamos a salir victoriosos.
I know that Caleb remembers me from those sparring sessions. I think he was about to fight Canelo Alvarez, and like I said before, nothing is impossible. And with faith in God, I know I have the tools that I need in order to overcome this challenge. On my own training camp that has been going great. My sparring sessions have also been really good. I feel really confident. So let's get it on.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Our next questions are going to come from Mark Lelinwala with DAZN News. Mark, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Hey, this question is for Caleb. You handle your business against, you handle your business, and if Charlo handles his business, how much would you look forward to fighting Charlo for closure, especially after that backstage incident that happened between y'all?
I feel like I have closure in the situation. I feel like I'm the one who closed that situation up. So, but I'm always looking to face big names in the super middleweight division. And he's a super middleweight now, so he's one of them. But other than that, I don't really care anything about that fight right now. It's not important for me to want that fight or focus on that fight. I'm not going to be distracted by the fight that's in front of me. There's been a million fighters in the past. They put them on the same show. They say, hey, if you win, you get to fight each other. And they're so busy thinking about the next fight or the big fight or whatever they want to call it. And they wind up not even winning the fight in front of them. And I won't make that same mistake. I'm focused on Armando Resendiz. I know he's training hard to come and take my spot, but that's not going to happen. And I know it, and he knows it.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Our next question is going to come from Harrison Campbell with the Tennessean. Harrison, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Caleb, you obviously have a lot of experience on the biggest stages and main events. Kind of what factor do you think that experience is going to play in this fight?
Experience plays a huge factor in every fight. And experience isn't something you can buy. It's not something you can borrow. You got to go through the fire to get it. And I've done that. And I've done that gracefully. And I've been on the biggest stages in boxing. And like I said, each time you get more experience in those big fights, you get to carry it over into, the next fight. And I got too much experience for Armando. I'm too fast. I'm too strong. I'm too slick. I got a good team behind me, a great team behind me. And Brad, my dad, Rich, my strength and conditioning coach, Tony. And we're the A-team. We're coming to win, and we're going to win.
Appreciate it. Best of luck to both of you guys.
All right. Thanks, Harrison. We'll try to get to a couple more here. Next questions are going to come from Jake Donovan, Boxing Scene. Jake, please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Thanks, Andrew. Caleb, I honestly can't remember the last time you had an opponent that there was no beef. Unless Armando completely flips and goes uncharacteristically heel. Can you remember the last time where you had you can go into a fight, not worrying about having a beef with your opponent beforehand? Been a minute, right?
I'm not really a fan or fond of anybody standing across me. I've put in, I've had to go through a lot to get here, in the ring, out the ring. And when someone's in front of me trying to disrupt that, trying to mess that up for me, when I have big plans, I take that personal. Now, a lot of my past opponents, I feel, have like really went out of their way to come at me, which I feel like that's kind of what you're speaking to. But I'm built for stuff like that. I wouldn't say that it bothers me, So again, Armando, he thinks he's going to beat me. That's enough right there to piss me off. So he knows who I am. He knows how I'm coming.
Got it. And then my final question for you. So Canelo is off in Turkey land. He's going to be there. He's probably going to retire over there. As we've seen in the past couple of weeks, all the other super middleweights are circling around each other. Diego Pacheco didn't want to fight Billy didn't want to fight the guy from France. None of these guys really want to fight it. What opportunity do you see where you can absolutely become the bank at 168 and that everyone has to come to you and that you can become like the face of the division, whether it's a Canelo rematch or once Canelo decides to call it a career?
I think the first thing would just be winning impressively on May 31st. And then seeing where the landscape is and seeing where we can move next. And, but nothing happens without me getting my hand raised in fashion on May 31st. So I think first things first, handle business against Armando and check the landscape and go from there.
All right. Thanks very much, Jake. Our next questions are going to come from Cesar Seda with Boxeo Urbano Network. Cesar, please unmute yourself. You can ask your questions.
Yes, my question is for Caleb Plant. Caleb, I see you all confidence and it's supposed to be like that, but this is a young lion. I know you sparring is not the same. This is a young lion. You coming from a huge fight on your last one where you became a interim world champion, but you went to the canvas on that one. And your opponent, Macombi, was your age and all that. This is a young lion. You don't think like if he found his way, it's gonna be a different way around?
I don't know, brother. You're gonna have to word that one a little different from me.
If he put you in the canvas, he got a good coach, he got a good corner. But if he put you in the canvas, like in your last fight, do you think you can be all confidence and got the same confidence like in your last fight to overcome this young lion that is on your side right there?
Did it happen in my last fight? Did it happen in my last fight?
Well, it happens. Yes.
Yeah. Did it happen in my last fight?
It happened. Different opponent.
And what did I do?
Different opponent. That's what I asked you the question because I see your confidence. You overcome it. Yes. I
got up. I whooped his ass, didn't I? And not to mention round 4, it was an arm punch anyway. See me on the arm and, I was stumbling from that and fell. So technically, I guess that's an 8 count, but it's not like I was hurt or, bothered. But what I do, I got up, stayed calm and cool like a champion does and put my foot on his neck. So there's been tons of legendary fighters, world champions to get knocked down by their opponent and they get up and they whoop ass. That's part of boxing.
All right. Thanks, Caleb. Right. And thank you, Cesar. Our last media questions for today are going to come from Abraham Gonzalez with Fights Around the World. Abe, please unmute yourself. You can ask your question.
All right, Caleb, I'm going to circle this back around to the positivity. Salute to that sneaker wall that you have back there. How difficult or was it difficult at all, trying to train and focus for this upcoming fight while having, your wife pregnant the second time around? Obviously, pregnancies are different and you want to be there for your wife as much as possible. How hard was it kind of balancing that?
It's not hard. Charlie, our first child, my daughter, she was born like 4 weeks before the Darrell fight. And, you see how I performed in that. And, we got help and she's not the type I'm in camp and she knows that. And so she allows me to do my job and put my best foot forward in that. So, we're not in the same room. We're not, it's not a distraction for me, is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm fully focused on Armando, and whether I have a kid on the way or not, if anything, that's just more fuel and more fire, more motivation for me to make sure that I get the handle things on the 31st. So I feel like maybe some people have the type of woman who may make things hard on them and, you know, nag at them but that's not the type of wife I have. And she understands the plan, and she knows what's at risk. She knows the task at hand, and she knows, you know, what's at risk. So she wants me to put my best foot forward, and it's no bother.
That's what's up. And this question is for Armando. Armando, para la gente que no te conoce, buenos días. Para la gente que no te conocen y creen que te ven el nombre, te ven el récord tuyo y dicen, que ese no va a hacer nada Plant. Para esa gente que te dicen, van a decirle eso porque no te conocen, no te han visto pelear, ¿qué quiere decirle a esa gente cuando viene el mayo 31 que van a ver esa noche de Armando Resendiz?
Bueno, no mucho en realidad, no me enfoco mucho en ese tipo de comentarios o las personas que no creen en mí. Realmente a mí me basta con que mi familia, con que mi esposa, con que mis hermanos, con que todos ellos crean en mí y yo mismo creer en mí, que mi equipo crea en mí. Eso es más que suficiente, pero yo los entiendo a todas esas personas que a lo mejor no me conocen. Y yo les diría que estén muy atentos, porque yo soy un mexicano que está aquí no para ver si puede, sino porque puede, está aquí. Entonces, vamos a darlo todo. Yo estoy viviendo parte de mis sueños y voy a salir a darlo todo esa noche. No me importa si alguien no cree, no pasa nada, está bien, y se entiende, porque puede haber razones y muchas formas de pensar, pero yo soy muy convencido de lo que soy capaz.
Look, I'm not a trash talker by nature, but I really don't care about whether people that don't know me believe in me or not. I care about whether my team believes in me, whether my family believes in me. I want to make my wife and my siblings and my whole family proud. That's what it's all about. I'm here making my dreams come true, and I'm a Mexican fighter. People are going to see what I'm capable of. Just wait until May 31st, and you'll be witnessing exactly what I can do. And this is not because I think I can. It's because I know I can.
Hey, Martin, can you tell him something for me? I know that if I hit him with the overhand right, like I hit him in sparring, that had him wobbling everywhere, the same one that I hit him with in sparring, if I hit him with that same overhand right with these 10-ounce gloves on.
Bueno, acá dice Caleb que cuidado, que si te agarra con ese derechazo que te dio durante sesiones de sparring, te vas a dormir, ¿Qué tenés para responderle?
No mucho, tampoco que decirle, pero la verdad que yo creo que él mejor se ponga a pensar en cómo le estuvo yendo en esos días. Total, me terminaron corriendo porque pues algo no les convencía. Entonces, que se acuerde muy bien cómo fue todo lo que pasó en esos días de sparring. No hace falta dar mucho detalle. Nos vamos a ver el 31 en la noche y ahí vamos a sacar la casta.
Caleb, there's no need to really have selective memory like that. I think you're misremembering a bit about what happened that week, because in the end they took me out of the gym for a reason, right? They ran me out of there because they remember what happened that week. But there's really no need to also like remember the sparring session so much, because I'm gonna put my best out there and be the best version of myself. And I'm going to show you exactly how much I've grown on May 31st.
Sound good.
All right. Thank you for that last question, Abraham. And thank you to all the media that joined us today. Thank you to both Caleb and Armando for taking the time. With that, I'm going to turn things back over to Ray Flores to wrap things up and get closing comments from the fighters.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Armando, on May 31st, it is PBC Championship Boxing on Prime Video, free and available to Prime Video subscribers. You do not want to miss it. It comes your way from Michelob Ultra Arena at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Armando Resendiz, your prediction for your matchup against Caleb Plant.
Armando, ¿cuál es tu vaticinio para esta pelea contra Caleb Plant? ¿Cómo termina la pelea el 31 de mayo?
Termina con el toro levantando la mano. Primero Dios.
It's gonna end up with the toro, the bull, with his hand raised, God willing.
Caleb, how will the fight unfold on May 31st?
And still.
Greatly appreciated, champ. Good luck. We appreciate it. Also want to let everyone know that there will be an in-person press conference in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks. Be on the